Okay, so the next step we're going to do, we've brainstormed all these different ideas for our puzzle cube. So we have 4-part, 5-block, 6-part block ideas. Remember, your puzzle cube solution needs to have either 5 or 6 parts to it. So typically what I go ahead and do when I'm starting to brainstorm solutions, our next step is we're brainstorming solutions. What I do next is I go ahead and start to tape together possible solutions. I pick a complex part and put it at the center of my design, and then I go ahead and try to build around it, knowing it might modify. So we have to come up with 2 different possible solutions. There's tape up here. You'll be able to tear off a piece of tape, go ahead and use it to tape your blocks together. That's what I found is best. I typically build a complex part, put it at the middle, build around it. So what we are doing, brainstorming 2 possible solutions that have, you remember, each solution has to have unique parts. So that goes ahead and means that I can't use the same part twice in one of my solutions. Yes, I'm okay with you sharing parts between your 2 different solutions. So maybe I have one part in one solution and I use the same part in the other solution. Once we go ahead and develop one, so we go ahead and put all these parts together, we've double checked it, each part has 4, 5, or 6 blocks, there's 5 or 6 different parts, it fits into a 3x3x3 cube. What I do is before I take that cube I've developed apart, I map it out, because that's what you're going to be handing in, is that mapped out version of your 2 solutions. So people will put it together and they'll be like, oh, I've got this, they want to try it out, they take it all apart, and it's next to impossible to put back together, and they spend an entire class period putting it back together. So before you do that, you're going to take your solution. This is a former student's one that is colored. Yours won't be colored because we're just taping it together. But you take that solution and you map it out on isometric grid paper. This, remember, you're going to hand in 2 of these for part of the assignment. So the way I would map this out is I go ahead and draw the 3 layers that I'm going to have. So this would be my top layer. That'd be my middle and my bottom. You can see how that'd go pretty easily on isometric graph paper. Once I've done that, I take off one part at a time and mark where it goes. So this is going to be our solution map. For example, if I look at this block here, it's color-coded, I can see that that blue part sits right there. So if I'm looking at that, if this is my bottom corner right here, I can see that that travels all up along that side. So what I'd do is I'd go ahead and label that part 1, 1, 1, and I can see that it sits down into the layer below it, right here and right here. So I can see that that is where part 1 goes. I would take that off. I would draw it off to the side here. So part 1 is going to go ahead and look like that's a rough drawing, but right there's my part 1. So I'm going to take that off, set it off to the side. Then, holding on to my puzzle cube, I'm going to look at the next part. So right here, I'm going to make this part 2. Doesn't matter what order we do it in, but if you take it all apart, you're not going to get it back together easily. So right there's part 2. I can go ahead and see that part 2 sets right here. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And it goes down on the bottom layer right here. 2. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and draw that out. I don't know if I'm going to see that bottom block if I go ahead and leave it the way it's oriented. So I'm probably going to turn it so I can actually see how that looks. Part 2. Right there's my part 2. I've gone ahead and drawn that. And I just keep taking each block off one at a time, creating a map of it, creating a isometric of each one as I go ahead and take it off. So I know you may have already drawn some of these. What we want in the end is we want 2 solutions. I don't care if you go ahead and do them both on one piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, have 2 maps, have 2 set isometrics, or if you do a new piece of paper for each, but you're going ahead and creating 2 possible solutions for your puzzle. This is step 4. The next step, we'll go ahead and choose which solution we want to pursue.